Friends, fellows, countrymen, what you see here is a virtual amalgamation of Amon G. Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas. We're looking at the tunnel here. NCAA Football 05 for the GameCube, or 2005, the official title for the GameCube, showing the Nintendo GameCube a little bit of love. I think this is the first time I've played a GameCube game in this series, because there weren't a ton of college football games that came out for it. But yeah, I actually know a lot about NCAA Football 2005. This was based off the 04 season. The Kansas JAYHAWKS didn't do great this year. They only won 4 games, but, lost 7 of those. But 2 of those 4 were wins against Kansas State and against Missouri. One of only 2 years since, 1991. That the Kansas JAYHAWKS have got wins over both of their main rivals. And yeah, this is a pretty good game. This is probably the NCAA football game that I am most familiar with, because I played this game even way after it was obsolete. I remember I had it when it came out, and I kept playing it, and then I ended up buying a PS2 copy of it, and I played that, and I was playing this game for 6 straight years on and off. I don't know what happens, but you're a kid, and you just got so much time to spend on stuff like this, so I played 7 dynasties and all sorts of stuff with NCAA Football 2005. I'm very intimately aware of this game, and I really do like it. It's one of the most recommended football games I can say that there is on the GameCube, certainly, and just of this era of NCAA football games. This is a good example of that. The touchdown that TCU scores here, this is a very boom and bust game, is how I would describe NCAA 05. On defense, I would blitz or I would play hyper conservatively. And on offense, you either get sacked or you just chuck it. You just chuck it. You can play kind of like a ground game. This is actually what I try to do in this video, is I try to do a mostly ground game based style. But if you've got a mobile quarterback and a decent receiver, you can really scramble and throw guys open in a way that you can't in a lot of other games. This is probably, other than this or NCAA 06, are my 2 favorite college football games ever, maybe, and certainly of this era. Anyway, KU gets the ball back here in the first quarter. We're trying to get something going after the TCU offense gashed us there, and we just don't. So it's up to the KU defense to get a stop, and we actually do a fairly good job containing the run game. This KU team had a lot of good linebackers. Mangina was able to recruit a lot of good linebackers early. His first recruiting class had Nick Reed and Kevin Kane, who's currently the defensive coordinator at Northern Illinois, and Banks Floodman, a lot of just very talented, good guys on the defensive front, on the linebackers front at least. Nick Reed, I think, was recruited as a quarterback. Also seen here is the tip drill, which is crazy in this game. Guys will just tip the ball up in the air very high, and it leads to some very interesting things happening. And then another evidence of the boom and bust nature of NCAA Football 2005 on that play. On the left side, I had a guy 1-on-2, but I knew he'd be able to get up there and go for it, so I just kind of lofted it up there, and we come down with it for the touchdown to tie the game in the first half in the rain in Fort Worth. Now, I have actually been to Amon G. Carter Stadium. Fun fact, it wasn't for a game against TCU, but it was for KU football. They used to host a bowl game there called the Fort Worth Bowl. KU would play in it. They had a Big 12 affiliate and I think a Conference USA affiliate, because we played against Houston. The year Houston was actually pretty good. Their quarterback, his name was Kevin Cobb. He went on and played in the NFL for a couple of years. They were not an air raid team, but they were a pre-air raid team, kind of, some of those early concepts. That was a pretty good Houston team, but that was the 2005 JAYHAWKS, so the year after this season. I go for it here, rather, on 4th down and 9. Doesn't end up happening. I threw to the wrong guy, really, is what happened. I should have pressed the L button, ended up pressing the X button, and that gets knocked down instead of at least making the catch and giving us the chance to get some yards. Here, they do basically the same thing I did. Got a guy 1-on-1 against the strong safety, and their guy is just physically larger than our safety is. Not much he can do about that, can't get up over him, so a long bomb to the end zone ends up working for TCU, and about that point I'm thinking, maybe I should have punted on that last drive. But we're not too far down in the hole. We do get the ball back to start the third quarter off, so things are kind of looking up for KU. Our halfback there, number 30, is making some plays. We go on the screen there, maybe not the screen, I guess just the halfback out there, and he makes the grab but can't get anywhere. Here he gets a couple of yards, and then here we give it to number 10, a guy named John Randall, who Kind of a fun fact about John Randall, he was really good, had a breakout season in 2004, had a great game, like 150 some yards against K-State, if I remember right. And then, we were pumped up because we also had him, we had Clark Green, who was number 30, and we had what's his name? John Cornish. John Cornish, if you're a Canadian out there, if I got any Canadian viewers, and I kind of doubt that I do, but, if you're a Canadian football fan, you'll know him as the Calgary Stampeders legend. By the way, we throw to the end zone here, making something happen, kind of throwing a guy open with a mobile quarterback running to the left side, and that's something you can do with a mobile quarterback. You can find lanes of passing that wouldn't be there if you were just hanging out in the pocket, kind of like our current KU quarterback has right now. A guy named Peyton Bender. He's got a good arm, but man, it is tough to watch that guy sit in the pocket and just get sacked or have to choose the least beneficial offensive option, at least every play. It's very frustrating. Scored 0 points against Iowa State. Luckily here, though, we go with the law of special teams video editing as it goes in the lore of the Joe Bush NCAA football playing videos. I don't know if there's any sort of lore, but I'm going to only show you a special teams play if something special happens. And that was something special. They got a fumble there at the 23-yard line. We take over in TCU position. So even if we don't score a touchdown and we don't get the first down there, we can at least put ourselves in good position to take the lead with a field goal in the third quarter. But, it's rainy, it's windy, and this is a KU kicker who are historically not great against TCU. If you remember last year, the missed field goal ended up dooming us. It was a 1-point loss. God, I just had to think about that game again. God, that was tough. That was real tough. That was a bad game. That was a good game. That was a really fun game to watch. And if I had been a TCU fan, I would be, that was a fun game to watch. But for a KU fan, that was like just taking the heart out through the chest. That was maybe the most painful moment in my experience as a KU fan at a Memorial Stadium, at least. We hand off to the halfback there up the middle. He doesn't get it there. He doesn't quite get it there, and I had to, when I was playing, I was like, wait, did he get it? Did he get it? And I had to wait for the animation here of the TCU player celebrating to make sure that he didn't. But we do go on the quarterback sneak from the goal line set, and we get the first down there. Then the quarterback scrambles. Again, one of the benefits of having a mobile quarterback is you get stuff like that. And then we go to the fullback here up the middle on the option. And on 2nd and 5, we're kind of waiting. I was burning clock. I just wanted to make sure that if I scored, TCU wasn't going to have so much time to go down the field and score themselves. Wanted to make it a little bit tougher than them. Wanted to add another opponent in the clock. We have a wide receiver open here who drops the pass. Not sure if he would have had the first down, but at least it could have kept the clock going. Probably a mistake not to run the ball there, but at least on the field goal, that does go through the uprights. And we take the lead, 17-14 in the fourth quarter. Now all we have to do is get a stop with this defense. But remember what I was saying. This is a boom or bust game. And right there, it's a bull market for the TCU Horned Frogs. We get them down at the 24. They don't score a touchdown at least, but man, that is disheartening. Didn't even take them 2 plays to get into KU territory. Here on the pass, a great play over the middle, or no, not over the middle, over the right side, over the center field though, right past the sticks for the first down. Then a play action caught in the end zone, touchdown. 3 plays for the Horned Frogs, and they are already ahead. 21-17 in the fourth quarter. So we got to make something happen through the air. Obviously, we're like 90 yards away. That gets knocked down at the line. Not even at the line, behind the line. We are in pursuit there. Then I throw over the left side. Great play made by the TCU cornerback to knock that down. Third down, I kind of changed up my strategy. Want to at least get a new fresh set of downs, which I do accomplish here. But there's a flag, and that flag is an offensive holding on the JAYHAWKS, and what a drive killer. Even though there wasn't a ton of momentum in that drive to begin with, it's now 3rd and 17 after it being 3rd and 10. There, no chance there. Well, it gets tipped up in the air. We actually could have made the catch there. As I was saying, the tip drill physics in this game, it's weird. I had plays that were like tipped up in the air and then bounced across the line of scrimmage into a receiver's hands. And then here we got a guy open, but he doesn't put his hands up to make the grab. So that's the end of the game, 21-17. TCU gets the victory, and man, I'm not going to be ecstatic if it's a 4-point game. I'm going to be pretty disappointed with the loss regardless, but I will be very surprised if KU keeps this within 2 touchdowns I'll be surprised if KU keeps this game within 5 touchdowns after not scoring a single point against Iowa State on the road last weekend. I was at that game, and it was rainy, it was dirty, and it was miserable to be a KU fan in that environment. Even the Iowa State fans were very nice people, so give them credit all as much as you want. But that's the end of this. This game will be on Fox, and I do mean Fox. I don't mean Fox College Sports Midwest or whatever. This is like Channel 4 in the Kansas City metro area, Fox. And if you've got a TV antenna, you'll be able to watch the Jayhawks probably get demolished by a TCU team that really wants to put on a good show for the national audience. And I'll be watching it. Maybe you'll be watching it. I kind of hope you're watching something better, though. And thanks for watching. And as far as I know, that's all.